I'd love to talk to you today about power. Power feels like one of those words and concepts where there's just so much energy around it, and almost kind of like, how should I feel about this? I almost even believe there can be a dis-ease when we approach it, but we need to start talking about power and coming back into and really honing in and using our power. Because if we want to see and create a new world, a world where there's kindness and love and peace and harmony, and there's no longer this misuse and abuse of power, well, that takes everyone coming back into their own power potential. Now, I want to talk about something that has been coming up in my own journey, because I think there can be kind of this twofold emergence of how we view power, where we don't want to be in our power because we've seen people misuse it and abuse it and harm others. And you may be of the camp, I think honestly most people are, where it's like, I don't want to harm others with power, so therefore I'm gonna just kind of disown it and not claim it. But in reality, that's a disservice. It is a disservice to yourself when we do this. It's a disservice to the collective. But I think there's another layer to that. So we may have witnessed misuse, abuse, have even, most of us to some capacity or another have actually received the consequences of that in our lifetime and even other lifetimes. And maybe even, because I'm a believer that we do live other lifetimes. We live many, many lifetimes, because it's just impossible to learn everything that we need to learn in one lifetime. But there could even be other lifetimes where we misuse power. And now there could be this fear of claiming that and saying, oh, I don't want to cause harm again. So there's that can be playing out. Then I believe there's this fear of actually how powerful we truly are, and the immense change, the miracles, the difference that we actually can command and create. And that is scary when we really sit with the vastness of who we are, both the light and the dark, and recognizing that we have so much more agency than maybe we have ever really known before. But in this lifetime, we're being called to step into our greatest power, to no longer be handing it over. Well, someone else must know how to handle power better than I can, so instead I'm just going to let them do it. Let this be the lifetime where we say, enough. I am enough. And also, enough of what has been transpiring in our world. Enough of handing over responsibility to someone else that we feel is more qualified, or maybe just we don't even want to have to deal or worry about the cause and effect or impacts of our power, so instead we step away from it. However, we can actually live in a prayer and have a prayer in this lifetime to come back into our power, which is our wholeness, and truly work miracles from this space. And we can even have a deep prayer to say, I want to use my power with kindness, with love, with compassion, for the highest and best good. I think when we start doing the healing work around reclaiming our power, and especially when we can hold ourselves so closely for any lifetimes where, whether this lifetime or beyond, where power was misused in some capacity or another, when we can still hold ourselves with kindness and love and know that when we are in our full power, that's the biggest way we're able to make changes in our world. Like, I look at, some of the just incredible ascended masters, the people who, walked this earth, who know what it's like to be human and also work in their sovereign divinity, like Mother Mary, Jesus, Mary Magdalene, Isis, Hathor, Kuan Yin, and heck, White Buffalo Woman. Today I'm wearing a White Buffalo Woman pendant. And White Buffalo Woman, while she only walked this earth plane ever so briefly, to me is such a, such a role model for walking in your power, setting a clear boundary, and commanding miracles that are required, that are in alignment with the highest divine will. And not running, I don't want, but if I do that, and creating this whole weird thing, this dynamic that we've had going on with our power. Like I said, I think this is for pretty much everyone in some capacity or another. We have a lot of defunct, outdated, old, and just abusive programming around power that we now have the capacity to really be looking at in a clear and conscious way, and to start claiming it back. And in fact, maybe I don't even know if I want to say it that way, because power has never left us. It is always within us, because we hold within the Holy Spirit. We hold within ourselves. God, Goddess, Source, Creator, Universe, all that is within. There isn't that separation, but we can create separation from that, from this, illusionary place where we feel perhaps unsafe to connect with that. But in reality, that's the place where we can source the highest divine solutions to be bringing and birthing and co-creating heaven on earth. To create a space where everyone feels that they're safe to be in their power and to be in a good way with their power. We don't feel that you have to control anyone else for your power to be valid, because that's untrue. We are powerful. We are such powerful beings beyond our understanding. And so I want to start that conversation, even though it feels kind of weird. Like, even for me, it can feel a little weird talking about it. But in knowing even just my own journey, but what I witness, whether it's with my clients or just in the world at large, we do need to start having that conversation around living, creating, and thriving and prospering in our true, full, highest power and potential. Where we're not divided and at war within ourselves of this like push-pull fear of like, well, if I'm in my power, what then A, B, and C could happen. Or, I think we can start to, create these beliefs that really aren't true. And again, we've witnessed, I think we need to give ourselves some love and compassion because of all that we've seen and witnessed in our life. However, this is the time. This is the year, this beloved year of the wood dragon, to reclaim and bring home or rather even reignite the immense power and capacity that we all hold. And to do it in a conscious and awakened way. That is what truly will create a more just and kind, loving world that I think most of us want to be living in and that we want to see for future generations to come. So let's keep this conversation going. Let's explore this. Let's know that it is safe to be in our full power and potential. We are safe and we can trust ourselves. Especially when we can bring healing and wholeness to the spaces within, calling for our attention, calling for our love and care, our compassion, where we no longer disown ourselves and instead know we are worthy of prospering in all ways, worthy of commanding miracles, and worthy of truly living and experiencing the highest divine realities on earth and creating that for future generations to come. Thank you.